So the kids got sent back to where their parents weren't even at. And then they put up blockage to allow the parents to come back in to see their kids.
There's people going into like other people's homes trying to steal their stuff, like trying to. I heard that the people are being held at like gunpoint over there.
Investors and realtors calling the families who lost their home, offering to buy their land. How dare you?
President Joe Biden is offering the wildfire victims in Maui $700. Please tell me that's a joke.
Welcome back. My name is Renee, and this is Highly Motivated, a channel where we check out different things that I find interesting, and hopefully you will too. Today, we are going to be talking about what's been going on in Maui, and I have found quite a few TikToks that talk about different theories and actually some first-hand experiences of some of the people who are living in Maui. And there are a lot of stories that I find quite disturbing and that don't exactly line up with what the mainstream narrative has been thus far. And so I thought it would be a good thing to share them and, get a little bit more of the story out there. If you're new here, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel and like this video, and then hit the notification bell so that you're always notified when I upload a new video. And without further ado, let's get into the video. There has been a lot of talk about the lack of alarms to even alert the citizens what was going on, and so I feel like that's a great place to start.
Some breaking news out of Maui right now. If you remember this morning when I told you that the alarms were not broken, they actually worked, but the head of emergency management agency did not want to sound them. Well, he has resigned due to all the criticism that he has been getting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel sorry. He said he didn't want to use them because they were meant for tsunamis. But it shouldn't have mattered in the first place. It's an alarm. You should have used it.
Right.
No questions, no thoughts. Bam, used it. And it is said that he didn't even have experience in this field. So why was he even elected to be in this position? He could have just easily sounded the alarms and saved hundreds, if not thousands of people. Maybe he has realized what he's done wrong and it feels bad, and that's probably why he's resigning. Maybe he just feels pressure too. But do you guys think this is good news or bad news? Because I think it's good news. I think they should put somebody in charge that knows what they are doing. Because if someone knew what they were doing, they would have sounded those alarms and all those people could have been saved. I'm not saying everybody, but most of those people. Other than that, I will keep you guys updated with any new information.
See, that fact in itself tells me, was he set up to be a fall guy from the beginning? I mean, it does make a little bit of sense, because I can't imagine any sort of reasoning that makes any logical sense as to why you would not want to warn citizens of something so huge. Let's keep going. I've got quite a few more. There is a lot of content on this on TikTok, and a lot of things that we're not hearing. All right, this one is probably the shortest and craziest, in my opinion, because I do believe in universal law, and I do believe that they tell us what they're going to do before they do it, and you just have to know where to look, how they communicate, right? And we know who owns Pepsi Cola. There is a large umbrella corporation, correct? And it's just pretty funny how the can is Maui Burst, Mountain Dew, DEW. Now, what does that stand for? Everyone watching this channel knows what that stands for. So let's check this out. I mean, if it's a coincidence, It's a freaking huge coincidence. Like, come on. Next, this is kind of along the same lines of them having to tell you what they're going to do. I mean, we have another coincidence, allegedly. Check what this man found on Amazon.
I'm sorry, but what the fuck is this? If you look at, you can literally Google it yourself, because I had to Google it myself to make sure that this was actually a real thing. But you know how we just had the fires in Maui? How the fuck did this book already get written and published? Also, notice the publication date, August 10th. Also, notice in the description how it says it chronicles the events from the 8th to the 11th. Bro, we got AI writing books already and then publishing them. Am I the only one that sees, like, this needs to be shared and this needs to be made aware that we have people or AI already writing books about a natural disaster, publishing on a day, the 10th. That was, what, 2 days, a day after the Maui fires even happened? What the fuck?
Now, I know that AI is really powerful, and it is just as feasible that there's somebody who has an automated AI system that's writing, books, and crawling the web for new stories, right? But it's also just as feasible that it was placed there by someone who had knowledge, right? Let me know what you think is the more likely reason why it's there. Now, when I saw this, I really wasn't surprised, but it really lends to the idea that this was not an organic situation. I mean, we know that they were offered money to sell land, and the natives did not accept. Then, within a few days, there's a giant fire. Nobody knows how it started. And it coincides with some very wealthy and famous people buying, thousands of acres in Maui. And then you combine that with the fact that they want to turn Maui into a smart island, and if they can't get the land that they want, then that is just like squashed. So it just seems to me like someone didn't want to take no for an answer, and this is all allegedly and my own opinion, so this is not fact.
Maui residents are using social media to warn each other about realtors attempting to buy land from wildfire victims.
Investors and realtors calling the families who lost their home, offering to buy their land.
Disgusting.
How dare you?
Over 4,500 people in Maui were displaced by the fires, but the island, just like the rest of the state, has been facing a housing crisis for years. This is in large part due to people buying vacation homes and rental properties, pricing native Hawaiians and local-born residents out of many areas. Earlier this week, Hawaii's Democratic Governor Josh Green discussed the attempts made by realtors to buy land from victims and suggested a pause on sales of properties that were affected by the fires.
I've actually reached out to our Attorney General to explore options to do a moratorium on any sales of properties that have been damaged or destroyed. It's going to be a very long time before any growth or housing can be built, and so you will be pretty poorly informed if you try to steal land from our people.
Last week's wildfire
Good.
killed at least 111 people, and officials have said that more than 1,000 people are still unaccounted for. Over 2,200 structures were also destroyed or damaged, leaving thousands displaced.
You guys gotta stay, especially you multi-generational families. Don't move away. We've already been displaced so much. Let investors and sharks and realtors across the world know that Lahaina is not for sale.
Maui
Amen.
residents are using
I mean, they have to stand up for their land or they're going to lose it. And if that's really the case, that they destroyed it, hoping that there would be some desperate people that would give in, and it's just pure evil. So it just seems like there were a lot of things that were done completely wrong, and some that are like a purposeful just slap in the face. And the amount of money that the Biden administration decided to offer per household is just, it's a disgusting slap in the face when you consider the amount of money that is going overseas.
President Joe Biden is offering the wildfire victims in Maui $700. Please tell me that's a joke. That's what I thought until I actually seen this.
FEMA also authorized one-time payments of $700 per household to folks who've been displaced, so they can do the immediate things of just taking care of medications and prescriptions that they so badly need.
So it's not $700 per person, it's $700 per household. Have Mr. President ever been to Maui? I've been to Maui. You can't do anything with $700. Keep your money. So I was wondering, how many people live in Maui? The population in 2021 was 164,000. So if he gave every single person in Maui $700, that will only be 115 million. So far, he have sent over $75 billion to Ukraine. So if you times that $700 by 10, that will at least be $7,000 per household and only cost him $1 billion. Please reshare this and let's hope he can up the ante.
He's not going to. I don't believe that the situation was organic. I feel like it's disgusting that they are denying people who are trying to help, people that are trying to give generators, water, food. They're telling them that it's not approved by FEMA. Like, but here's my problem is like, why are you listening? Like, just go, do it anyway. Like, we're really quick to just do what we're told these days. It's strange. Now, this young woman has a theory, and I really think that it's worth listening to. And I kind of mentioned a little bit something regarding the wealthy or famous people. So let me know what your opinion is, and we'll listen to hers.
Fires in Maui were planned by rich people like Oprah and Jeff Bezos, and the reason that I think that is looking at people's behavior like Oprah. So if y'all didn't know, her and Jeff and a bunch of other silent millionaires and billionaires, they had bought up a fuck ton of land in Maui and all the other Hawaiian islands in the past couple years. And conveniently, Jeff and Oprah, their houses are like just outside of where the fires are. Conveniently, it hasn't hit them, which is a miracle, right? And also, Oprah had so much free time that she could fly to Maui, and right now, or at least a couple days ago, she was passing out waters at a pop-up hospital to help. And she said, she made a video of it, you can look it up, it's Oprah Maui fire response, and she's wearing a tan sun hat and glasses, and she goes, it's absolutely devastating, and I promise to make a donation after, a large donation after all the ashes and the smoke have settled, and it's time to rebuild Maui. That's what she said. She said it herself, and she was so calm, and like the way she was looking to the side in the video too, reading her innate body language. There's something that she is not telling us, because it doesn't make any sense. If you just bought a house for millions and millions of dollars within the past 2 years, why are you flying out to Maui and just handing out water bottles and not doing everything you can to fix the fires and stop it from having to be rebuilt, where you'd have to donate that and fix it and build it from the ground up anyways? If you were really devastated and cared about this and wanted to stop the fires, why would you not shell out the money now? You already say you're going to shell out money. Why are you not doing it to prevent the fires from getting worse, or to help the people that have no water, no food, no electric, no anything? All the resources have been like demolished. Isn't that interesting? And that tells me
there's a bigger
she's
plan.
waiting for everything to get burnt up so she can sweep it out. And then when you make a donation like that, conveniently, you kind of have a way to twist their arm when you build and you call the shots. You know, well, I'm donating, so if you want me to rebuild all this stuff, you kind of have to do it how I want it, or I really don't want to give you the money.
Yeah,
and that's exactly
disgusting.
what the fuck's gonna happen.
Bet.
With her, with Jeff, with whoever the fuck else, and what are they using it for? That's my question. We don't know that part.
Oh, we do.
What resource, what are they trying to acquire? What are they going to use this for in the future? Because they're not just buying up this land because they love it, because they're never there. They don't spend any time. they're busy doing other stuff, right?
Well, Oahu is not the only place that's on fire or that was on fire. I've been seeing TikToks, Spain, Italy, Canada. There are fires all over the world, and they coincide with the locations that they want these smart cities, allegedly. I have to be careful what I say, but these are all theories, ideas. Let's brainstorm. I mean, we don't know the truth, but there's evidence. We have eyes, and we can make our own decisions. We don't need to be told how to think. Now, this may be a little known fact, but the morning of the fire, school was canceled for the entire Lahaina district.
See, I'm coming for it all today. This right here, right here, on the morning that this happened, all the kids were sent back home, and most of their parents went to work, and then went to work away from their homes. So the kids got sent back to where their parents weren't even at. And then they put up blockage to allow the parents to come back in to see their kids. You know what? Anybody that's within the government realm of that area needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Needs to be fired. You don't play around with children's lives. You don't have the mindset to think properly inside your head when it comes to children, and to know that their parents weren't even at home. You couldn't even set up a proper way to get the children all to safety, and then later say that we have your children in a safe place. This is horrible. You don't play around with kids. You don't play around with the future. This is not done on accident.
No, it's not.
How could myself, I'm not even trained in this, and I know better. Everybody needs to let go. Everybody needs to get fired.
Listen, the children are under attack from every direction in this country. They know that they're the next generation, and they know that that is where they have to hit in order to have the highest level of control. They know that that's who needs to be brainwashed in order for the plans that they have to progress. And they're not going to, because Jesus wins. We know the end. The Bible tells us the end from the beginning.
And or covering up the extent of the damage and the death count. I personally know people that are telling me that death and destruction is way worse than we're being told. I am witnessing the cover-up by the media firsthand.
Wow. I think that it's going to be a long time before we know the whole story and the full extent of the lives that were lost, but we know that it's a large number. It's well over the 60, I think, that they initially tried to say.
I'm sure plenty of you have seen these videos that have been coming out of Maui of vehicles literally melting onto the street. These specifically are from Jeff Cygnus on TikTok. Like I said, the aluminum is literally melting out of the vehicles, and the melting point for aluminum is 1220 degrees Fahrenheit. That's just crazy because, as you can see in this next video, none of the asphalt has melted along with this. And you would expect that to happen in fires that are reaching over 1220 degrees. And the melting point of asphalt is 343 degrees Fahrenheit. So make that make sense. I'm sure plenty of you have...
How is that even possible? if anybody watching this understands or knows a reason why that would be possible, let me know in the comments. But that doesn't seem right to me. Now, this situation it had to have been terrifying. And these people were jumping in the water to save themselves from the That's just, imagine spending hours in the water just waiting for it to stop burning everywhere around you. That has to be, your life is probably flashing before your eyes. You don't know if you're going to make it. Your neighbors, your house is gone. My heart bleeds for these people, and the thought that it was done to them, or it could have been done to them, and not in any way, shape, and accident. It breaks my heart. Now, there was not just one person saying that there were realtors contacting the residents. Here we have a first-hand experience from a woman who had realtors contacting her about her property right after these fires.
People in the real estate industry are calling your family and your friends who have lost everything to buy their plots of land.
It is disgusting. We have real estate investors and speculators going around calling our victims, offering to give them cash and buy their property. It is disgusting. It's a land grab, and I know that our Lahaina community, we are resilient, and we will do whatever it takes to protect Lahaina.
And that's one of the big concerns as they search for the missing and the dead, is that Lahaina doesn't lose its spirit, right? That people from the outside don't come and rebuild and turn it into a tourist mecca.
We've already been displaced enough, and we plan to have a seat at the table in rebuilding Lahaina and ensuring that the rich cultural history of Lahaina is protected, and that the multi-generational families get to come back home.
They'll call them to offer them money for their land, but they won't take the time to help. Now, I found a first-hand testimony from a woman who is currently in Lahaina, and she is going to tell us a little bit about what's been going on from her perspective and how this has been affecting her and her immediate family and neighbors' lives.
If you don't know what's going on in Maui, we are just being completely devastated right now. The last 4 days, I've been non-stop just working around the clock, trying to get supplies for people, trying to get the supplies to the people, working at the shelters. It's just, I'm safe and my family is safe and my dogs are safe. Last night they said the death toll is 80. It's not correct. They're not reporting it correctly. I don't know why they're not reporting it correctly. There's hundreds, at least 600, if not thousands of people who are dead in the streets, floating in the ocean. There's over 3,000 homes that have been burned to the ground.
Now, why would they want to lie about the amount of people dead? Why would they want to lie about the amount of homes devastated? Why don't they want people to know the gravity of the situation?
There's no help here on the ground. All it is residents
and no help.
Together. My whole entire truck is full of supplies right now. Just residents going to the store, going to Walmart, going to Costco, buying as much as they can, driving it straight into Lahaina. I went there last night and there was a fire that started and we got so scared we weren't able to drop off all the supplies. But there was flames that we saw and we were like, we just have to get out of here. It's so awful. The people who were able to evacuate Lahaina and get out, they're at the shelters, and the shelters are just a mess right now. They're so disorganized. We don't have anyone from any organizations helping. I think Red Cross is here, but it's just so unorganized. No one knows what we need. It's awful. And the people that are still in Lahaina that were not able to evacuate, they don't have gas in their cars. They can't leave. Some people are just holed up at their houses waiting for someone to come knock on their door and give them supplies. They don't even know supplies are like being distributed at the docks in Lahaina. And it's getting so bad in Lahaina. I never thought this was gonna happen, but there's people going into like other people's homes trying to steal their stuff, like I heard that the people are being held at like gunpoint over there. I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I've literally been working nonstop the past 4 days, but it's like, where are the trained officials? We're not trained to do this. Like, this I haven't gotten a break, and I've just been like, I have to help. Like, I have no other option.
And then, so all these people are spending all of their money to do everything that they can to help this situation, and they're not getting any help from anywhere. But then they have these realtors who are trying to come in and get their properties. And this is where it doesn't sit right with me, because it's kind of like they want them in a desperate situation, so that they do something that is against what they want and against their morals. And I you know, in the world that we're living in today, I mean, I can't put it past them. I really can't. I can't.
But it's just so hard. There's still tourists that are here. Yesterday, right off the shores of Lahaina, where people are dead, they're floating in the ocean. There's a tour company that brought out people to snorkel. If you have a trip here, don't come. Cancel it. There's people complaining that their weddings were ruined. Our families are dead. If you have ever visited here, if you love any of the islands, please donate. Please, like, no news is showing how bad it really is. It's really, really.
Imagine the kind of person that you have to be that's pissed that your wedding's ruined. Like, ew.
Really bad. If you've had money to vacation here, you have $5 to send.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
get Starbucks. Send $5. I'm taking donations on my Venmo, but if you don't want to do that, you can donate to any of the verified fundraisers, but make sure it's verified. Please spread awareness of this. Like, no one is talking about this outside of the island. Tell, I don't know, write to your Congress, your representatives. The president yesterday just asked for $13 million to aid in Ukraine, and he hasn't helped us at all. If you don't have money to donate, please, please, please just spread as much awareness as you possibly can. Try to set up donation centers wherever you live. Please, we need every single helping hand that we can possibly get. Every single dollar that we can possibly get. I don't care if you think $1 is too small. Like, send it. It will. If you don't know.
Amen. And I've also been hearing that, you know, even water is becoming hard to come by. Water is a limited resource, drinking water on an island like that. And this fire, it did not. I mean, it did not make it any better. And now you have tourists that are upset that their vacations, their weddings are ruined. I don't know. I just can't. I'm running out of adjectives because it's gross. It's entitled, and it makes me sad. Next up, we have a interesting anomaly caught in the sky in Maui before these fires started. And I don't know what it is. What do you think it is? Tell me in the comments.
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
Oh, whoa, you see that? Oh, wow. Okay, wait, we're gonna zoom that in a little bit. And I want to play it again. Let's see. Let's do this slow-mo.
Did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
Okay, here we go. Wow, that was definitely something shooting across the sky. Crazy. Now, I don't know if this is the cause, but this is definitely something that was caught on a camera at a bird sanctuary in Maui. So, let's see what this camera caught.
Island, where last week, just before the fires, the cameras at this bird sanctuary captured a bright flash. Staff believe it's a tree falling on a power line. Shortly afterwards, flames can be seen in the forest. Ross Hart saw something similar before his home burned down.
We could hear some trees falling here and there at the distance, and one big one fell here on the bridge, and it knocked over the power lines.
And then you saw the house, but you could see it burn.
I saw it begin to burn, and they wouldn't let me stay to watch it. They're dragging me out because the embers were starting to come over my truck and stuff.
Huh. Let's look at that one more time. Let's just look at that light one more time. You see that light? That is bright. That is... Nope. Does that seem like lightning? I mean, lightning can knock over a tree. But that lit up the entire sky. A lot of us do not believe that the situation was organic, and here is yet another perspective.
This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui. If you know what lives there, what descendants live there, you know why. And you know why it happened on 8/8. And if this is not something that you believe, it's time to stop being a sheep. They came in and they took control. There were trees standing and the buildings gone.
Much like California.
This weather system came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand. I sat with the people. This is not to bring fear, this is to educate, because there is darkness that's being hidden.
Yes. Yes.
Energy attack.
The fires are not limited to Maui. They are happening all over the world. It feels very reset-y to me. Like they want a new system, and we really don't know the lengths at which they're willing to go to gain that system. We do know certain things have to come to pass. The Bible says so, and the beast system falls in line with these things that they're trying to create, these 15-minute cities, the AI. The AI, to me, smart cities, central banking, digital currency, all of these things feel like they're just leading the path to that mark of the beast system, right? Because people aren't going to just like, agree to it unless, like, things are really bad, right? They're going to have to make everybody suffer, I think, and so that they're begging for somebody to come in and fix it. And it's going to sound real good, but it's not going to be. Now, I did have to mute the music in this video, but this video is the people of Lahaina, when they were told that they could not go in to bring supplies. They found a way, and they went around and did it anyway. Some of them, they found a way, and they got help to the people, and I think that's beautiful. I don't think that you should listen if someone is telling you to do something that you know is not right. What's right is right, and you need to stand up for what is right, because if nobody's willing to stand up for it, then does it really matter if you're able to point out what's right and what's wrong, if nobody's going to actually fight for what's right? My thoughts and my prayers definitely go out to the people of Maui and Lahaina, and I really hope that this may have been a wake-up call for some people who may not realize how bad things are, and who do not realize that there are people who create situations for their benefit and don't care who they hurt in the process. It's much easier to believe that that is something that doesn't exist, but we know that evil people have existed in the past. We have history books. Well, albeit a lot of them are not accurate. The stories that they've given us, there's some pretty evil stories. And so are we just supposed to believe that oh no, there was only evil back then? Not anymore. That's just not reality. I just thank everybody for coming back and joining me again, and keep Maui in your prayers. And until next time, stay prayed up and stay highly motivated.